Terrific here, and I'm going to be trying to do one of these videos on the YouTubes. I've got a book in the mail today. Been waiting impatiently for it. It showed up a few weeks after some of the others have showed up, but I can't blame that on anybody. In the beginning, I decided this book came out. It was a Malerman book, the Bird Box SST, the second limited edition version of that book that I know of. And I wasn't going to buy it. I figured, hey, I collect enough things, enough authors, stuff like that. I'll stick to what I stick to. And then I started seeing people talk about it, and then I saw that it was sold out. And sure enough, I felt regret. I wish that I'd bought one. The pictures looked phenomenal. So it occurred to me, hey, there's PC copies of this and that, and I sent an email to the publisher, Paul Fry at SST Publications. Said, is there any way that you'd be willing to sell a PC copy? I wish I'd have bought one, but I didn't. My mistake, I'm sorry. And he said, sure, something like this. He said, sure, we'll sell you a PC copy, and once it's been published, we'll get that out to you forthwith. So here we go. Fast forward, I bought a whole lot of SST books since then, and today I opened the mailbox and there's a great big old box unannounced from SST. I hope that it's the book I'm talking about because I haven't opened it yet. I got a whole bunch of stamps here with some lady. I don't want to offend. I don't know her name, but a box from SST. And so let's see what we got here. I got this was my father's Benchmade knife. I gave it to him, and then when he was proud of it, he wanted a good knife, so I got him a Benchmade folder, the exact one that he wanted. When he passed away, I asked my stepmom if it would be okay if I had my father's knife, and she was kind enough to let me get that knife. So it serves a lot of purposes for me in life. Good knife, if anybody's interested. Griptilian Benchmade. I don't know what they cost or what the model number or anything like that is, but here we go. The stereotypical SST, very well packed. Man, if you ever buy books online, you know that you're liable to get some books damaged. They're not always handled well, and I've had some headaches with some publishers and some booksellers and eBay sellers, poorly packaged books. The Amazon hasn't done me any favors with their packaging practices, but one thing you won't say about Paul Fry is you won't say he packages his books poorly. There's a whole lot of popcorn in here, whatever you call that stuff. It looks like white Cheetos, white cheese puffs. If there's any cheese puffs lovers out there, have you ever noticed how some of the generic brands of cheese puffs tend to taste better than the big name brands? Anyway, more stuff that you expect to see from a SST package. You got a lot of goodies in here. Put my father's knife back up before I forget and lose it, and then I spend the next couple weeks wondering what the heck, who stole my father's knife, hundala, stuff like that. Found some coupons in here, which I do use. If I get the opportunity, whenever I buy books from SST, I will use these coupons, either 10 pounds off of your next order of 50 pounds or more. I got a lot of pounds on me. Or 15% off of your next order. So either way, they work out good. I like discounts because I hold a dollar bill dear. SST, one other nice touch, something that always makes me smile, and I know a lot of you folks like it too. Get a little handwritten letter on the back of a SST card here. This one says, "Hi Tim, thanks so much for your bird box order, which is enclosed and enjoy." So the cards I'll usually stick in my book because one day I'll reminisce. Again, well packaged, bubble envelope, packaged in peanuts, and then put in a box with lots and lots of room, an oversized box. I always recommend shippers use an oversized box because the boxes do get smushed. The SST bookmark. I'm using one of these bookmarks right now to read a favorite McCammon of mine, Speaks the Nightbird. and I've used this one of these bookmarks for the last 4 or 5 books that I've read, and that's where it's at right now, sitting on the table. Almost done with that book. Love McCammon, love Matthew Corbet, and back to Malerman, what I think is a Malerman book. Removing these little stickers. It's like unwrapping a Christmas present, only it ain't Christmas yet. Now, something, getting back to Malerman, I wasn't going to collect Malerman books. Nothing against the guy. I just had never read them. The only knowledge I had of Malerman at all, like a lot of folks out there, was tuning into Netflix one day and see a Sandra Bullock movie. And there it is. Good movie. I liked it. But that was all I knew of the fellow. And I decided I'd collect enough authors that I wouldn't get into it. Collecting stuff gets expensive. Collecting and reading are very different. You can read books relatively affordably, but collecting books gets pricey. So along the way, I started following Josh Malerman on Facebook. I listened to some podcasts where he was being interviewed, and what I've figured out pretty quickly, he's a nice, engaging fellow. Good to people. Sounds like he comes from poorer end of the spectrum, and has found his way into some success. Hopefully he's doing better now. Anyway, I decided to get this one a PC copy. I definitely ordered the follow-up to this book from SST, as well as another publisher. I don't want to say anything bad, so I won't say anything at all in terms of that publisher at this point. Like I said, mine is a PC copy, signed by Malerman, and marked PC in the number box. This dust jacket artwork is some of the nicest that I've ever seen. So you're looking at the cover here, you've seen it before already. The spine, gosh, that's going to look good on the shelf next to some of my other SST books, like The Only Good Indians and my Eric Red Western werewolf series. In the back of the book, phenomenal. I've heard the artwork in this book is pretty neat, so let me see if I can pull up some of these images now without fumbling around too much. A lot of times as you're reading a book, the artwork kind of slips up on you, and then when you want to find the artwork again, it's not always easy enough to thumb back through and find the correct picture. I've become a guaranteed dedicated fan of SST. I found SST as a Joe R. Lansdale fan and a Lansdale collector. I found SST as they started publishing some books by Lansdale. Some Happen Leonard collections, some Lansdale collections, and then one of my favorite books, period, but one of my favorite Lansdale books, and one that he would call perhaps the favorite that he's written, is Paradise Sky. So I got Paradise Sky. I got a couple of the Lansdale collections, and in that process I started noticing that SST had some really nice looking books. So then I went, and I think I got maybe The Only Good Indians, bought some Eric Red books. They produced more Lansdale stuff. They produced another book by one of my very favorite authors, Lawrence Block, and then other things. And there it is. I've been waiting for this one for a while, very jealously watching plenty of other folks celebrate theirs on the internet, celebrate theirs on Fans of SST Facebook page, celebrate theirs here, there, and yon, and I've been just kind of waiting for mine. So PC copy, I ordered it late. It only stands to reason that it would show up late, and that's the way it goes. But anyway, I don't make that mistake again. When the SST books come out, when I get the email, hit the order button, buy that some buck, and just know what you're going to get is going to be great. One other thing about SST in general before I go, other things I need to be doing. One other thing about SST before I go is that fella, Paul Fry, takes care of customers. There one time in the past, I asked for a favor. They did nothing wrong. There was something they had that I wanted. They didn't have it for sale, but I thought, hey, well, I can only ask. I emailed, said, hey, can I buy one of these things? And he said, well, I'll get one out to you right away. And I said, well, how much? And he said, don't worry, it's on me. And then I say, he said, she said, then I say, well, come on, man, you're shipping from England to Florida, USA. It costs money. Let me at least cover the postage. And he says, forget about it. It's all good. So a little bit of a freebie there. I feel uncomfortable getting freebies. I know everybody's got to make a buck in their life. Everybody's got to pay them bills. But when somebody gives you something, it is always nice. Makes you feel good. Somebody cares, especially with a business that I can then in return support and maybe convince others to support as well. I don't got to do a whole lot of convincing. People look at some of my books, the select few that get to come into my room and see where I keep my stuff, my inner sanctum where I hide everything. They always seem to stop at a couple of the SST books on the shelves. They never heard of the book, but they say, dang, that looks good. That one's awesome. My kids, they point to them and they say, that's my favorite book. They don't know what it's about. They just know it looks awesome on the shelf. And there's something to be said about books looking awesome on the shelves. Anyway, never done a video like this before. Probably ain't worth a hoot at it, but here goes and here went, and we'll call it good. Can't think of anything else that I really needs to talk about at the moment, so we'll reach up, push the button on the phone, and c'est la vie, baby.